big believer in affinity space. And I think people of color need to get away from white people and have some community with each other. And I'll let that go and maybe see if anyone else wants to pick it up.
I'm just going to drop this big stupid idea on the ground and see if anybody else wants to pick it up. That's what I just heard from her. Affinity spaces. What a beautiful word for segregation. Affinity spaces. But what it really means is here's the white space, here's the colored space, you know, kind of reminiscent of the 1960s. That's what I'm hearing right now. And I thought we got rid of that. I thought we said that was not cool. I thought we said segregation was the opposite of what we wanted in society. But now the new activism is people advocating for segregation. It's people saying people of color need to get away from white people and have some community with each other. Why?
Well, I'll tell you why. It's because when people lose sight of Jesus Christ, people forget the fact that there is neither Jew nor Greek, neither slave nor free, no male nor female. You're all one in Christ Jesus. You see, when you're not one in Christ Jesus, everyone wants to separate again. And when you take Jesus out of, an entire country, obviously people are gonna, want to be segregated. When middle schools and high schools are teaching kids that their life is meaningless and their ancestors were fish, and if those kids believe that, then of course society is going to go downhill, because they have this idea that they can make up their own meaning to life, which is usually just to be happy. Whoever loves pleasure will be a poor man. He who loves wine and oil will not be rich. Most people know about the second greatest commandment, which is you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Most people can get down with that. But of course, this is just the second commandment. There is one much greater than that second commandment, because without the first, there's no point to the second. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your mind. This is the great and first commandment. On these two commandments depend all the law and the prophets, guys. If a country does not love God with all its heart, mind, soul, and strength, it is going to be punished. This is exactly what Zechariah 14 prophesied when Jesus came 2,000 years ago. On that day, living waters shall flow out of Jerusalem, half of them to the eastern sea and half of them to the western sea, talking about the gospel spreading from east to west. And if any of the families of the earth do not go up to the heavenly Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, there will be no rain on them. This shall be the punishment to Egypt and the punishment to all the nations that do not go up to keep the Feast of Booths. This is not a literal feast, but since Jesus came up 2,000 years ago, he established the new heavenly Jerusalem, which is being built up right now. And anyone who doesn't worship God, any nation as a whole that does not worship God through Jesus Christ, that nation is going to be judged. That's just how it works.